let's wait and let a few people get in here to see us.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Conversations. Today we have a conversation with Mayor Randy Carroll of the city of Shelbyville. Mayor Carroll, it's good to have you with us today.
Good to be here, David.
I know you're busy, and I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to sit down and go over some stuff that I know that you want to share with the public. But first of all, Mayor Carroll, I know we've got a big event coming up this week.
We've got the celebration coming, to Tennessee Walking Horse National Celebration, and we're welcoming all of our visitors that are coming to town. We want you to feel at home and welcome while you're here. We want to have a great show this time. And we've got great things planned. Warren Wells, I've kept up with some of the things he's doing, and you, David, have, on some of your shows, have updated. I saw the one with Warren the other day. So make yourself at home. If you have any questions, feel free to call City Hall. If any of the visitors want to have some where to go, tourism type things, we'll be glad to answer those questions.
Yeah, a lot of these people have been coming here for years and years and years, and then there's some newcomers as well. So we need to make everybody welcome.
I agree. Well,
Mayor, what's going on with the city? What all big happenings are taking place right now?
Well, I just made up a list of, not necessarily all big happenings, but things that are affecting the city government. And I wanted to start with the publication requirements of meetings and municipal code public comments that we have. That's a state law as of July the 1st of this year. And so all of our meetings, we have to have a space for public comments, which I like. That's a voice for the people.
Right.
We'd like for them to discuss what we're discussing that night. In other words, ask questions about that. But we have had some comments about other things, and we appreciate the citizens of Shelbyville. We want them to have a voice. And some of the other things that we have, I'll just kind of move down through them. And David, if you got a comment, you just let me know.
Sure.
Flood pumps. When I first came into office, we talked about that, the age of the flood pumps and the percentage of operation they had. And so the design and engineering is complete. We are looking to bid that out in October of this year and get those flood pumps on the way so that we can get that.
Okay, so
done.
Explain to somebody that might not know what those flood pumps actually do.
Okay. The flood pumps, there's a holding pond right at the floodgates.
Everybody's seen it.
Okay. And to the right of that floodgate is where the pumps are. And we have an underground system in Shelbyville. And that underground system carries it's called a flume. And it carries the water from 3 different locations in Shelbyville all the way to that holding pond. And then those pumps pump it back out into the river. Of course, it's filtered by the ground and rock and things like that. So those pumps are 60 years old. And we want to make sure that if we had heavy rains, and you've noticed I think out west right now, they're having heavy rains.
Right.
We've had some heavy rains here, but if we've got a really heavy rain, I'd be concerned. The pumps are still working, but I would want to make sure that our citizens are safe and we can keep those pumps pumping that water out.
So where does that water go? Does it pump over into the river?
It goes back down below the dam.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Retail recruitment. We're interested in. We're looking at hiring a group that they work with Tullahoma, and they've done good work with them. And we're looking at clothing stores, restaurants, hotels, any of those things that we can bring into the city. And we need somebody working with us to recruit that. Somebody that knows that, and this company does that for Tullahoma and other cities, and we want to get busy on that.
Right.
We've got people asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Every time we have a live show and everybody talks about what they want here, it sounds like you guys are hitting that target with this hire possible.
We want to do that. Rails to Trails. Rails to Trails is a pathway using the old railroad track that we have through Shelbyville, allowing the people to have a walkway or a bicycle or a wheelchair entrance into the city instead of having to be out on the street walking and those kind of things to get to the city. The Railroad Authority's been after the city for years to take over that. Of course, they will retain ownership of it, but they'll pull the rails up. We'll put a pavement down so that folks can have access to the city. And I'm interested to see that. It's a grant that we'll get, Rails to Trails. And Mike Alsop, our recreation director, Scott Collins, are working with Myself and Gary Hales on that railroad authority, also one of our city council
Right.
members. Any questions on that one?
No, I think people will get a picture of it when it starts to take place and understand it better.
Right.
But they're going to pull those tracks up, we'll like to have a walking, riding, or whatever trail right through the city of Shelbyville so people can stay off the streets.
Absolutely, and no motorized vehicles other than wheelchairs will be allowed on there.
Right. So bicycle or
right, and it'll clean up some of those areas around where the railroad is right now that have not had attention as far as keeping the vegetation.
Look at that and say, well, we'll have a running track or walking track right in the middle of town.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and well, that'd be great. I mean, I like that idea. Residential developments, we have got residential developments all over. I think the number I heard the other day, 1,200, something like that, that are planned right now within the city limits of Shelbyville. New homes, condos, townhouses, things like that. And people are, the new owner operator of our Chick-fil-A is in one of the new townhouses, and until they can find a home, they're leasing that. So we are glad to have those developments coming. We are getting probably some people who work in Murfreesboro and maybe work in Franklin that are moving to this area, maybe because of cost as far as taxes and things like that. So we welcome them to come, and we hope with that, average salary will go up. Retail will be easier to for us to reach out to, and so restaurants and all kinds of things look at that, when they're coming to our town. What do you think about that, all the residential development?
Well, I think it can be good and it can be bad. I feel like that over the years that we've wanted to grow and bring, I don't know if you'd say a better, higher quality workforce for local businesses, but I don't know how it balances out. We just have to wait and see. So, I mean, we're going to have more people come whether we like it or not. Now, I think it goes hand in hand with your retail recruitment there too, about getting those stores. If you have people coming that have money to spend, hopefully some of these stores will get it here and it will enhance everything. That to me would be the ideal situation.
I think that's a good idea, and I think you're speaking for, I think most citizens want the same thing that you're talking about right there. Parking on the square. This is a little item, but we look at any kind of request that we get from city, especially a business owner in the city, and want to try to do anything we can to help them do business. And we've got a little restaurant on the square, and they don't have any parking in front of their restaurant. It's we used to have parking meters, as you talked about a while ago, and then we used to have a lady or a gentleman that would go around with chalk, and if they had parked there for over 2 hours, they'd put a chalk mark on it. But they were asking, can we do something to maybe reserve those parking spaces in front of their business? I asked the lawyer about it, and I said, what do you think? Well, you can't mark on tires with that chalk. See, they said they took that to legal aspects, and they said it was an invasion of privacy. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to try to help these folks out. They've got a business. They're trying to make it work, and I want to help them.
I've always thought our square and all public squares are such a unique design that came out in the 1860s. With one drawback today that they didn't have to deal with then is the automobile flooding the area. And now you've got that situation, and we do have a few areas off the square that you can park and walk.
Yeah.
But it's tough on a business when somebody wants to pull in and the thing's full. So
that's exactly right. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Funding requests. We've had a lot of different funding requests. Habitat for Humanity came up before the council again, and we have approved a one-time donation to the Habitat for Humanity for the home that they're building right now. Photography for youth sports leagues. We just approved that. Of course, the cost of everything is going up, but they gave us a little break, the company that we have worked with for years, and they said we'll hold the price to where it is, and we all want to support our youth and those sports activities and things like that.
I would like to recognize one comment that you've already got here.
All right.
Thanks, Mayor Carroll, for the great work you've been doing for our city. As a city resident, I appreciate the work you and the council did to lower our property taxes for the upcoming year. That's from Joshua Blevins. Thanks for the comment, Joshua, and I know you appreciate the compliment.
I sure do. We worked hard to get the taxes reduced, and we had to really study the budget, make sure that we were doing the right thing, and I think we did, and I'd like to do it again in the future if we can.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That's music to my ears.
Yes. The next item I guess we'll talk about is the paving bids. We had one contractor that we had used for a while, and the paving estimate that came in was increased, and so we're going back to doing some bids on the paving. We've got a lot of streets in Shelbyville that need work. Of course, our main streets like Madison and Union, TDOT's got that on their radar to go ahead and redo those.
I've done that before. Man, the planning on that was hilarious. I mean, it starts the day the celebration started. They come in here with the steamrollers, and I'm like, "What?"
But we do want to get those streets done, the main streets. But we also want the side streets, and we have a list. Mr. Ballard, our Public Works Director, has got a list, and they did an assessment of which streets needed the most work and things like that. So we're working on that. Along with that, I'll go ahead and mention the going up North Main onto the square, the left-hand side where Stuart Potts Motors used to be, where we have been working for the last few months. Will Owen, our engineer, and some other folks on the drainage situation at North Britain and North Main right there, so that we can, and you'll notice that one of the little roads is closed behind the coffee beans in that area. And I talked to one of our business owners yesterday about the water drainage from their property and how we're going to work with that. But they have done the study, and they've just about got the engineering and design complete to help with that open ditch. There's an open ditch there, and it's of course going to be close to that rails to trails right there in that area. So we're hoping to get that all done. Once we do, then we have nearest green is supposed to build a restaurant right there. And so we're looking forward to that. But we've got to get those issues. That infrastructure's got to be in before you could put that business in, because we don't want to have trouble afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Emergency purchases. We have those from time to time, and we had a chemical controller on the indoor pool that had to be replaced immediately. So you have to kind of brace yourself for those kind of things and make sure, because the public use that indoor pool and outdoor pool too. Do you use those pools out there, David?
No.
Okay.
Now, our church has had events out there and so forth, and I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
So it's a critical and vital entertainment place for our community, and so you got to keep it safe. So
when I go out there walking and do things, and I've been to the pool too a few times, but in the weight room I've gone out there, but when I go out there, I'm so pleased with our rec center. We have, I mean, it's always, people are always there. And basketball, student, and I saw the senior ladies out there practicing the other night and such things. I think they just won a national championship. Our senior ladies, 70 and above, I think.
That's pretty awesome.
So we're tickled to death with that. Yeah, and I know some of the ladies on that team, and I played on the men's team one year.
Speaking of that, I know it came up that we were going to get a grant at one point, possibly considering it, and it was going to build, maybe with the money, some pickleball courts. Is that still in play, or is that off the table, or is it coming back? Or
the grant request that we had for that, trying to do that, was going to cost the city up front about $750,000.
I remember that now.
Yeah, we've kind of backed off on that. We're still looking at Mike, also a wonderful guy and doing a great job with the rec center out there and all the people that work there. But we put that off right now, and really I want to go to some individual. We've got some soccer fields too. We're about to get the metal buildings tore down on back there where the old cedar mill used to be.
Right.
And if we do that, that's where we want to put some soccer fields. So I'm reaching out to the community today. If there's any private individuals that want to help us, we'd be glad to name a field after you, a pickleball court. If we have people that play, and I know some people that they've invited me to play pickleball. That'd be fun. That'd be funny.
Have you played pickleball?
No, I haven't. Have you?
I've never heard of it before, and then I started watching television one time in the middle of the night, and there was actually a professional pickleball league, and there were some former big-name tennis players. John McEnroe was playing Pete McNamara in a pickleball game, and it's like, okay, this is just like a big old ping pong court.
Yeah.
It's like a little bitty tennis. It's for people that want to play tennis but don't have to move around.
That's exactly right.
And I loved it.
I do too, and it's for the elderly, and I'm in that category, and youth and anybody else. But I've seen those folks playing down on the basketball court. They kind of will section some
Right.
areas off, and they do that. So yeah, that's something we're looking at for the future. We haven't given up on that, but when we do these grants, sometimes we have to match funds. And
Right.
It costs
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Sure.
Newspaper. That's a big issue right now. Well, Times Gazette closed all of a sudden. Now we have the Bedford Post, Lakeway Publishing. I think Oklahoma's working with that. And David, I want to brag on you. The Shelbyville Now has stepped up, put the obituaries in there, and you put news on there and such
Right.
things. People are
Just for the
interested.
record.
Yes, sir.
You're making news right now.
Okay.
Well, telling us some of this stuff. To me, it's important information.
Yeah.
We'll definitely. I know we've got this live stream, and a lot of people come back and watch the video
Yeah.
and get some of this information. But also, we'll have an article concerning some of the things that you mentioned here today. But we want to keep everybody informed, and we've been flooded, and we appreciate everybody's support and the community just coming to us, and we've got a lot of sponsors stepping up. So thanks for mentioning that. And I know the Bedford Post has a lot of local folks working for it.
Yes.
And I hope they can get that organized and running properly. I know it's going to take some time.
It will. And the Shelbyville Times Gazette, we're hearing now that somebody has, I think the bank, it may have gone into a bankruptcy or something, but the bank, I think there were 6 papers in Tennessee I saw in the report, and someone has gone down and they're going to maybe begin the Times Gazette again. I don't know how that's going to work and whether that's investors from Shelbyville that's working with that, or I don't know. Do you know?
My understanding is that bank hired somebody out of Camden, Tennessee. It's well, both of our print media, the Times Gazette and the Bedford Post, have outside the city ownership, but we have a lot of people working for the Bedford Post, and I'm sure they'll have to come and recruit people.
Well, I think so.
Most everybody's gone.
I think so too.
It's going to be tough for them.
Oh yeah, yeah, and of course we want to get the news out. We want to be transparent as far as the city government. I know you would like that as far as transparency. We all need to have that news in front of us, and that helps when you're electing officials or whatever that
Sure.
you're doing. These folks are doing good work, and we're working for you in Shelbyville. I'll let you know that. All of the
Yeah.
city council members and myself and city manager and all the people up there.
Mayor Carroll, I'll extend this invitation to any city councilman that would like to sit down and have a conversation.
Good.
The camera is there.
There you go. And I think William and I did a few things with you.
Yeah. Back when y'all were running for office
Yeah.
and during election time, you guys came in and talked and told people who you were. And I think that's important at election time. People get to know you. They don't have to wait and wonder.
A face
Later.
of the name, that's
Exactly,
right, and know
so-
a little bit of what you stand for.
Exactly.
William Christie's who I was speaking of. He's our vice mayor
Right.
for the city of Shelbyville.
Okay.
City councilman for Ward 4. Celebration again, let's mention that, 23rd through the 31st. So it starts tonight.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had classes this morning.
Ah,
They started at 9 o'clock, and I think I was watching earlier, and they were up through class 10, and they had some horses in the ring, and it's neat to see everybody's anticipating when those donuts are going to be ready.
when are they going to be ready?
I think tomorrow.
And the horses today, aren't they futurity like the little horses?
No, this is a pleasure. It's
Okay.
in Chalcedon Arena, some pleasure classes. They
Okay.
start, the actual opening ceremonies for the celebration took place at 9 o'clock.
Huh.
Now, tomorrow night, of course, in the big oval, that's where it officially starts. You know.
Well, I'll get the opportunity. What an honor it is to be the mayor and people to elect me to office. And we have a city box, A77. Come by, see us at the celebration. And tomorrow night, I'm supposed to give the city trophy.
All right.
And 43B, I think, class 43B. And I'll be glad to represent the city of Shelbyville and do that. And I'll hope I don't fall or anything.
All right, Mayor, I'm gonna ask you one question here
All right.
as we wind down.
All right.
Are there any new retail businesses, stores, besides we know about Chick-fil-A, that situation, it's being built. Then we know about Firehouse Subs, they opened up this past week. There's rumors of other things, places. But is there anything you can tell us about that's new and coming that maybe people missed out on when it was announced? Is there anything that's
UPS is going to move in next to Firehouse Subs. I
okay?
think
So
that's
they're
what
going to
they're
have what a store
I guess.
where you can ship from.
I think so. And then there's a Dos Brothers
Right.
Mexican restaurant or Tex-Mex maybe
Right.
down there on the right. I understand the property even below that where the antique store or the frame shop was. And that area down there is going to be cleared off, and they're going to try to do another little strip mall right there in front of Walmart. One of our retail grocers, large grocery chain, is looking to maybe relocate.
Well, that cat's already out of the way.
Okay.
That cat's already. We're talking about Kroger.
That's right.
All right.
And they want to build a superstore, and
Yeah.
Kroger has done a wonderful job. And my youngest son works for Kroger.
The superstore at Kroger is not like Kroger. You go in there and you got like expanded inventory selection of all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see that unfold.
And we do have, I've been wanting to get a grocery store out 41A and 64. And we do have a Dollar General that's building at the corner of Wall Street
Right.
and Madison right there. And so we want to invite folks out in that area that they can, go to that Dollar General and pick up some things.
Or they could drive 3/4 of a mile and hit the other one on the right hand side. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, every time I look up, I see yellow and black. So they got us covered.
And somebody with the property right there at 64 and 41A on the Wartrace side, street side, those people are looking, they want an investor that's going to put something there, maybe a little mall or something. That's what I'd read. And so we would like to see something out there. We would like to see maybe a little mall out there for the people in Normandy, Wartrace.
Well, you got to think about those people that are coming from Tullahoma into Shelbyville, maybe going to Murfreesboro, catching the bypass. If they knew that there was some stuff right around that intersection, they'd come down and probably that would be a good place.
That's right.
Because we've been void out there since everything has shifted to North Main.
And 437, those people coming in off 437 would have a place to stop before they get home and pick up something or whatever.
Right.
MTSU groundbreaking is taking place on September 21st. Okay. That's the MTSU Aerospace campus, and that will be on September 21st. And our governor is supposed to be there with us. I would like to have in the future a clean up Shelbyville, beautify individual properties, neighborhoods. All of our individual property owners working together, maybe sometime in the fall or maybe next spring, but I'd like to have it this fall if we could.
Okay, we have a comment here.
Okay.
I think this is Josh Blevins came in. New McDonald's located on North Main.
Yes, sir.
Is on the planning committee agenda for tomorrow night.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
he's watching. He's
Hickory and North Main.
Right, right. So that would be another place to go.
That's exactly right. And I don't know if they're going to keep the one on this side of town and then put that one over there. I haven't heard that.
No, I have heard that it's just an addition.
Don't have to.
Don't have to.
Just like Sonic has to.
Right, and we had to once before because it was in McDonald's was inside of Walmart when they first opened up.
That's right.
And they saw it working there, but I don't think they worked out the lease on the renewal and that other places. I can't remember the name of it. But
I appreciate the citizen support. I'll end with this. I appreciate the citizen support of helping us with we're trying to move Shelbyville forward. We're trying to make it beautify the city, aesthetics and things like that. And we've got some new design standards of vegetation and some different islands and things like that. When you build businesses, it's not just pavement, but it's going to have some beautification there. So help us with your properties if you have it, and let's all work together and give me a call.
All right, Mayor Carroll, thank you again for sitting down and taking time out of your schedule. Hope you enjoy the celebration.
I will.
Everybody get out, go to the celebration, support it, go get your donuts, of course, and support all those vendors out there. And Mayor, we'll have you down for another conversation here very soon. But thank you for sharing this with us, and we look forward to the next time. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be back real soon with a conversation with Mayor Carroll later down the road. Be on the lookout for us. Thank you.